Greta Thunberg was at the United Nations. And it was nice. She crapped all over these people on some level. And I think more of this is necessary.
This is like Anand Girdardis at Davos, but
right.
Better.
How old is she?
16, I think.
It's nuts. I like how everybody laughs at first. And then she just like drives a stake through their hearts, essentially.
My message is that we'll be watching you.
Oh, so cute. Cute little girl. So cute.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight? You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe.
She came back. Here's another segment from that same talk.
With today's emissions levels, that remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years. There will not be any solutions or plans presented in line with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable, and you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is. You are failing us, but the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you.
I don't know how you can go in front of those people and do better than that in terms of inspiring them. I don't know what it will take to get societies to respond to this type of thing. I really don't know. But at the very least, history is going to look back and say, like, just about every possible means in which to communicate this to the world was employed. It's a question of whether politicians and people, just broadly speaking, answered the call. Of course, on one hand, where you have this 16-year-old young woman, Greta Thunberg, who is addressing the United Nations and the world in a way that you would imagine would inspire people and scare people and shame them. There's also a whole cohort of people in the world who not only can't get motivated to do something about it, actively profit on the idea that it's all a hoax. I don't know how dark your soul has to be to be one of the 4 people sitting on this couch this morning. It's Fox and Friends. Every day we laugh at Steve Doocy and Brian Kilmeade about how stupid they are, and then sort of get amazed at how stupid Ainsley Earhardt is. This guy, Mark Morano, who's the executive editor of ClimateDepot.com, which, of course, is literally set up and financed to deny reality. Now, maybe the guy's really, really stupid. Or maybe he's just incredibly craven. But he's so stupid that it reaches a level of cravenness. Here he is, talking about how dangerous Greta Thunberg is because of what she's doing to the children.
Group did those interviews. What is it about her that has interested so many young people?
Well, she sells fear. Greta Thunberg started in Sweden every Friday outside the Swedish parliament, and it spread to skip school in order to have a future. In other words, she's actually said, and she's addressed the EU, the United States Congress, testified that why should kids go to school if they have a future that will be no more unless government passes laws like the Green New Deal, more UN treaties, etc. So this message of fear...
And is it working in Sweden?
It worked in Sweden, it's working in Europe, and now it's come to the U.S. The message of fear sells. There's reports now in Europe where kids are getting anti-anxiety medication. They believe they're going to die. She is the Greta effect. She's causing and instilling fear in millions of kids around the world and actually has them believing that government can legislate our climate. In other words, if we pass the Green New Deal in America, these kids can all go back to school.
You know, like when I watch a clip like this, I spend the entire time, not just during the clip, but after the clip, in anticipation of playing the clip on the show, thinking, should I really like address this on like an argumentative terms? Like, should I try and refute the idea that kids all around the world are taking anti-anxiety medication because of Greta Thunberg? Should I try and just pick apart this guy from Climate Depot, his argument that she is just like trying to exploit fear, I guess, presumably, so she doesn't have to go to school? Like this tremendous amount of effort to play hooky that she's engaged in? Or is it more interesting and valuable just to go like, what? How just empty and decrepit do you have to be inside of you? Like, I feel like if we were to cut that guy open, it would just be like dust inside.
Do you want some biographical information?
I was going to say.
So he previously was the environmental communications director for guess which senator?
James Inhofe.
Nailed it. And ClimateDepot.com is a website for the Committee for a Constructive Tomorrow, which has taken Exxon and Scafee money.
There you go.
Better than that, top donors are Donors Trust from Dark Money with over $8 million in donations. Charles G. Koch Foundation, Donors Capital Fund, and a bunch of Charles Koch Institute. So we're hitting
like
all the boxes.
There's so many things that you could do for money if you had absolutely no scruples or morals whatsoever. And this one still seems like it would be like at the bottom of that list. Like everything else on that list. Can I be in charge of putting the lead in the candy? Because that feels a little bit, at least, I don't have to show my face.
Yeah.
If it pays well. To go out there and sell this stuff on television. Is he like an orphan? Did he grow up with knowing no human beings? Was he raised in the woods and he doesn't have any contact with any human beings and therefore he doesn't feel any shame whatsoever? That's the thing. Like I don't even know what to argue with this guy. The idea that she's selling fear. How is she profiting off of this? What is she selling? It's stunning. It really is stunning.
Our friend Mark also worked for Rush Limbaugh in the 90s.
I mean, it all makes it much more clear. I mean, it's been very profitable.
Wow. He has been going in about Greta Thunberg's autism. He apparently called her an autistic prophet. So that's the kind of scumbag we're dealing with here.
There you go.
He's raising the bar. Wow.
Yeah.
And a George Mason University graduate, we should point out.
Oh. Is he going on tour with Dave Rubin? Didn't Rubin get some funding from George Mason's like Liberty Project or something like that?
Oh yeah, it's all Coke money over there.
All right. Lastly, Greta Thunberg was in front